Okay, good afternoon. This is Wednesday, December 28th, 2022, and it's about 2:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Market's been closed for about an hour and a half now, and you can clearly see the market's gone down. So I sold all my positions, and the reason for that, I think the market's probably going to start correcting and come back up here, and then I'll buy again going down. So this is my game plan. Again, I mentioned before, I bought up in here. If you just want to stay with it for a couple months, then you're going to make some money on it. You don't have to go buy and sell like I'm doing. But just to explain how options work, let's just say I bought here, which I did, and the options came down to this line. And let's say I made $50,000 on that. And then the market went up, and it came down and went a little bit further, because as it went up, I lost value. But when it came down further, then I'm back pretty close to the 50,000. But when it came up here and it started messing around here, not really doing much, and by the time it came here, I'm several thousand short. Even though it's more money right here than right here, and it's pretty equal. So the reason for that is options actually gain a lot of value when there's a lot of volume, when there's a lot of excitement in the market, and the market just shoots down like it did here. And people jump on board, and the price of the options go up. But once it starts doing this thing here, then it starts to lose value because people aren't that interested. And that's the way options work. You know, if this kept going down and down and down, this thing would gain a lot of value. So this area right here, you can lose, not really lose money, because if you bought here, you're still in the money. But it's, you know, you'd probably have to wait till it gets down here, or maybe even further, to make some decent money. Of course, you can make some decent money here. It's all relative. But for me, I feel like this is going to bounce up and come up here, and then I can buy again short. Just waiting to see. We only have 2 days left of this year, so just being kind of cautious here. And then after January hits, then of course I can get back into the swing of things. So same thing with the NASDAQ. NASDAQ came all the way down pretty close to this. I had mentioned before, once it gets down to this point, depending on the volatility of this, then it's probably going to retrace and come back up. And if it does that, then I start losing value in my options again. And that's not the way to play. Now, if you're long term, of course, you stay with it. It comes up here. You can see your account balance change. It's going to disappear, not the whole thing, but some of the money that you've traded in here will disappear, and then it'll come back. But I like to catch these waves. Anyway, it's looking like, I'm not sure what's going to happen in the next 2 days, but it looks like it might start retracing at this point. And same thing with the Russell. Russell broke down here, and it could start retracing back up in this area, which is trend line. Right there. Yeah, so it could start coming back up here. Dow Jones. Same thing, Dow Jones is still up there really high, so it's got all of this to go down, and it's going to do that, but I don't think it's going to do that next 2 days. You know, of course, anything's possible, but that's not where my money's at. I think it's going to just bounce around in here, and then finally come down. So A lot of the underlying stocks hit a new low. It looks like they're ahead of the indexes, and the index is kind of taking a sweet time to get down there. But eventually it's going to go down. And I think that's what most people do. They focus on the indexes, not so much on the individual stocks. But the underlying stocks is also the health of these indexes. And although these indexes seem like they should be falling too, they're not doing that. So tonight and tomorrow I'm going to price out some more put options, February put options, and see where this market goes tomorrow. Like I said, I'm thinking it's going to go back up. I mean, it might come down a little bit, but it's going to stay in this area. And this might pop back up. And if it comes up here, especially if it does a spike, it comes all the way up here, and then the second bar, if I don't see a second bar going up higher, then I'm definitely going to short that, and that would be ideal. These spikes are ideal. It's almost like you can't miss on these spikes. You know, they're pretty accurate. And once in a while, it's kind of a fake out, but not much. You know, like this one here, little spike here, and it came down to here, and then it went back up. But from here to here, if I sold out here, I could have made some money. And if I waited until it got up here, then I probably would have broken even, or maybe took a small loss. So you can't really lose with the spikes, at least my experience. They're pretty safe. So I might have to wait for another spike. And then when I see one and I see those next bar coming down lower, I mean, especially if we have a news report and it just shoots straight up, I'm definitely going to buy, because news reports always do that. When it goes up on news, it always comes back the opposite way. Or if it goes down on news, it always goes the other way. That's like pretty much 99% of the time it'll do that. So, okay, so that's it. We're just going to wait and see what happens tomorrow and see what our game plan is for tomorrow. Talk to you tomorrow.